Hello everyone, today we are at Carnikava XCO, Latvia's first event of XCO championship.
Lūdzu, labdien!
And I will be participating in open groups, 7 laps. Initially it was 6 laps, but they decided that conditions are good, weather is great, the speed will be a bit up, so we will be going for 7 laps, each lap 4 kilometers and a bit. So in total we will have around 30 kilometers and it's going to be a fun race to do. At the starting line there were also quite a few Lithuanians, also Justinas Pavlovas, who just came back from Poland, where he took first UCI points in his career, so congratulations for that, Justinas and the team of them. So imagine, they yesterday came from Poland and today they're also at the starting line in Latvia. Whether it was worth it or not, we'll see later down the road. The start was given, we went at the uphill, which had to come into a single track, but unfortunately they changed the beginning of the course and we went into different type of uphill. Then we'll be doing warm-up lap, there was still lines there, but you probably wonder, where is the footage? Because I'm already talking about the race and there's no footage yet. So there's not going to be any, because official of the race decided that they are very strict under UCI rules and they are not going to allow recording the race on the chassis for sure, which in the past was not a problem in Latvia, but I can agree with that. There are a lot of jumps, etc. So yeah, they decided that mounting the camera on the bike is not allowed as well. I don't even have words to describe it. I had quite a few discussions with official as well as organizers, which were completely fine about using the cameras, but official was strict, and it is as it is. What's my opinion about that? I will cover that later, but I will just share a few bits about the race course and how it happened in general. So there were 7 laps in the beginning. As usual, everyone was pushing really hard, and because the short loop was changed in the first lap, we were quite fast up to the first drop, which I decided not to risk doing it, because for me it looked like it's a bit problematic. I went chicken line on the first lap and I noticed that the time lost on that loop is just enormous compared to our riders who were just close, and after that chicken line and they took the drop, it was like gap opening up. So I learned that on the first lap as well as on the second, where on the third I decided why to give that time away, and I made those jumps and it wasn't that bad and nothing to be worried about. So that one was cleared and I was proud of myself for doing that, but in general probably I was pushing not hard enough in the first few laps and then stuck a few times in the single tracks. The guys from the front were going significantly faster, like 1 minute, probably even might be a bit more, 1.5 minutes faster per lap. So I've been in my position, going at the pace I could do it, and that was basically just racing against myself for 7 laps. But the course was nice, it was quite fast. Few places were not too comfy to do, especially that one in the sandbox, but before the race I did one warm-up lap, and there were a photographer there who said that, hey, it's just looking more difficult than it actually is. So I went back, tried it, no problems, all went fine. Thanks for my wife, who captured quite a lot of shots, which I am going to incorporate in this video as well. So that way I've been doing 1 lap after another, and in such races usually I participate in XCO quite rare. It's a bit of a bummer if someone overtakes you by 1 lap. That means your racing distance is reduced. So for that reason, I just kept looking through my shoulder if no one is coming. I don't know yet the results, but they will be somewhere here or there. But the guys who finished the race in the first place were probably a bit more behind. It was my second time in Latvia as XCO champ. First time I've been in Daugavpils 2 years ago. So it was a nice experience compared to how it felt back then and what was the difference here. Talking more about the course, I also have preview video of the whole lap, so you could have a better understanding what it was and in general what was to be expected. As far as I know, this is one of the easiest XCO courses in Latvia, so as I can agree, it's not complex at all. Also, it's worth mentioning that every feature had some sort of chicken line, so basically the course was suitable for any rider. And talk about the general public interest to XCO races. Usually people are a bit afraid and a bit precautious about participating in such races because they think that it's too demanding, it's dangerous. Like then you see videos from World Cup XCO races, they are doing jumps, all sorts of features, etc. So yeah, partially depending on the area where you are going to attend such race, it might be the case in your area, but looking into Baltics, we definitely don't have that much of advanced skills needed. Yes, there are some, but the reason why I think capturing such races is crucial is you share the complexity of the course, and that way those newcomers could have just easier understanding that, hey, you're not going to be killed. You are going to be perfectly fine to participate in such race. As you might see, I am a bit pissed off about this situation. And the reason being is that, yes, racing is important, but at the same time, capturing the races is what I do. And that's the reason why sometimes I choose to go 300 kilometers just to do that race. And taking that away from me has some sort of negative effect to overall experience. It also makes me to rethink participating in such races which are under UCI rules and which are strict to following them blindly. This year is the second time I was not allowed to record the race in UCI race, and I pretty well described that thing in the past, so you can check that video as well if you are interested about. So basically the rule of thumb is very simple. You ask organizers whether they allow to capture the race due to commercial licenses, etc., because you are showing off their brand, their sponsors. So that's the reason why they might allow you or cancel that idea. And then if organizer allows you, UCI official just checks the cameras and they approves it or declines it if they are causing any safety issues. If you mount a camera at the bike, they allow to do it, and only in such occasions it happens to be otherwise. Talking more about the race itself, I was quite happy about the outcomes, maybe not about the result in general, but the fact that all lap times were more or less similar time. Maybe the last one was a bit slower. The times were quite nonetheless, the times were quite similar, and yeah, that was a good effort in general. No one managed to catch me by one lap. If that's the goal, that's a bit sad, but that was just how it was today. Hopefully no one hurt themselves badly after the drop jumps, unsuccessful drop jumps. So yeah, you always have to measure the potential dangers, and if you don't feel confident about that, you can always go the chicken line, like I did first few laps. And actually, one funny thing is that once you go from chicken line into the A line, which is the drop, you also have to allow others to go pass through who took the jump, so it's just even additional time waste. I had a company on the race course most of the time, maybe except the last lap, but there was one guy, I don't know his name nor number, but he was going pretty similar speed than I did, maybe even a bit stronger, but he took 0 jumps. He always went in the chicken line, and I always catched him back even though he was in front. So maybe going at least on small jumps would be beneficial instead of going in the chicken line. Anyways, everyone do what they want to do, and that's fine. So that's what XCO should be about. You take the line which you feel the most comfortable. You lose some time, but you can gain the same time on the climb, for example, and that will be perfectly fine. That said, that's definitely not the race analysis which you've been expecting to see, nor the full on board which I wanted to provide, but that just life happens, or let's say officials happens. But nonetheless, he was a nice guy, just the different opinion than mine, and that's how it is. I wonder, what do you think about this type of decisions? Do you think that it's right? Maybe you have some experience in different country, and maybe you have some solutions how to deal with them. So let me know in the comments, because now I'm a bit biased because I record them, I want to record them, and I feel unhappy when that doesn't happen. But maybe there is a way. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think about that?
How much?
If you've been in this race, let us know in the comments how it went, and we can discuss the things, how it unveiled for you as well. Also, others will know how the race was from different perspective. Actually, last one thing, on one day before the race, I rode with Armands Priede, so thanks for the company, man, and we had very nice single tracks rides, just for you to have a look how beautiful surroundings nearby Riga is. And it's coastline single tracks, very nice one. And we also discussed with Armands possibility that he would carry the camera, so we would have on board the 2 cameras switching from one to another. So it's like super cool stuff, exactly like I did in Vuelta Ibiza MTB, which if you haven't seen yet, you still have a chance to do that, because, well, race on boards from Carnikava is not available. So what should we do? Race on boards are really nice for indoor training sessions. Keep that in mind, that you can do your indoor training sessions while watching race on boards from the races, and maybe, just maybe, next year you decide that, fuck yeah, I'm going to Costa Blanca bike race because that's amazing. And that's what I said this year after the race unveiled. So there are a lot of things, a lot of them. My wife has some questions which I don't know yet, so she can try to do that.
3 things which you like the most on the race.
Three things. I like the fact that I managed to do a drop jump, which I was afraid to. I also overtook Armands Priede, shout out, man, but he had a crash, so that's nothing to be happy about that. Hopefully everything went fine for him. So let's just scratch this out and not count as an example. 3 things is huge number. For me, to find good things in something is really complicated most often. I would say that having similar lap times throughout the whole race was something to cherish as well, because that means I was good enough at my pacing, and at least for now, didn't completely got myself busted towards the end of the race. So you live and you learn, maybe. And the third thing is that I always love to have discussions with Latvian guys after the race or before the race. So it's just great community and I enjoy it a lot. Will there be any more questions today?
What could be better? 3 things as well.
Be better for my performance, be better for the race itself. Please clarify the question.
On the race day, in the track.
In my opinion, when the race has A and B lines to choose from, it's beneficial because someone can choose whether he wants to try different line or not. In this race, A and B lines were only on the technical features, which were jumps or drops. So in my opinion, having A or B lines not necessarily on the technical features is beneficial. Second thing for sure is I would enjoy a much more cooperation from race officials, that they would plan themselves down that we are in the local race, it's not international, worldwide, blah, 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 and exposure is the good thing. Also, what could be always better is more participants. So the more participants comes to the race, the more interest it adds to the overall performance and feeling. So yeah, more participants is always a good thing.
What you can recommend for riders who want to try XCO?
For XCO, you definitely don't have to be afraid of trying it. First thing, if you're not exactly sure whether XCO is for you, you can always come to the race after it happened. Just check the race course, see how the climbs are for you, etc. So that would be the simplest way to get your feet wet. So you are not registering, you are not paying anything, you're just checking the course and seeing the taste of it. But keep in mind that during the race your capabilities usually grows, and that's where the personal growth always comes from. So if you can do a bit more up to your skills before the race day, on the race day, that means you are getting better. So getting better in general in everything we do is probably the ultimate goal we should chase. And that's what I recommend for you to think about when you're considering entering these type of races. So don't be afraid and just dive into it.
Describe in 1 sentence how was for you this race, but only 1 sentence.
For me, this race was challenging, but at the same time it was fun, despite the fact of all the triggers which were before the race start. Next XCO race is going to be in Daugavpils, and it's quite similar to this one. Maybe it has even more jumps and drops, but not as technical, I would say. But the race course is a bit longer. They also have actual real garden, rock garden. If you're from Latvia, which XCO course for you is the most demanding and the most challenging? From what I heard, it's probably Ogre. I haven't been there, but I saw how huge jumps and berms and all that stuff is there. I also believe that Saldus is quite steep in terms of the climbs. Maybe it's not as technical demanding, but it's still hard. Anything else? Sigulda? That's probably all I know. Oh, I actually know one other. It's Lizums XCO, where Ivars Dažnieks is the main host there, who do all the amazing jumps and stuff there. So is it hard? Is it not? Let me know in the comments. And maybe we will meet there, who knows? I wonder where the Latvians became so good in XCO. They are flying like crazy, they are going like crazy, they are afraid of nothing. We go into single tracks without any brakes at all. where the hell you learned those skills, guys? Let me know in the comments as well, because that's something to chase for, I guess.
That's it. Paldies! Lūdzu! Labdien! Es uzu Lietuvas. Kažkaip taip.
Čau, čau.
Paldies!